On Dodgers Digest. It's the Monday morning live stream here. Mike Nelson and Brad J talking Dodgers. How you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing good as can be expected after what we've been witnessing the last few days and the last few games. It's been kind of a rough one being a Dodger fan, but you know what? I'm looking forward to the future, man.
Yeah, I had a chance to, of course, call all three games, so I'm a bit tired this morning. But
That
yeah, it was a
that was,
crazy. Yeah,
dude. First of all, how the heck did you pull off doing the game that was 16-0? How the heck did you pull that off for
yeah.
that long a time? I mean, how are you painting the picture? I mean, what were you doing?
Yeah, the last few innings were really rough. I mean, I think I focused a lot on Mickey Rowe, messing around. He was copping
Yeah.
all of his teammates, right? And I was talking about how I thought some of the Cubs players were unhappy about that. I don't think they really liked what he was doing. I mean, you saw like Carson Kelly give him a dirty look after he hit a home run. What did you think about that, Brad? I mean, I know it's a blowout game, but I think some of the players on the Cubs were a little bit pissed off about it.
First off, Cub fans, sit down, be humble. All right, you act like this is like the World Series that you got the wins. Okay, you beat the series, but yeah, I think they were upset because sometimes that goes back to the purist versus someone who's just a casual fan, and a purist is going to be kind of ticked off about that. But you know what? I think what they did is awesome. All right, I think what Miggy did because he impersonated. He impersonated Kershaw, Sasaki, and Yamamoto.
That's right.
Like that's awesome. That's not easy to do, and he's got a 22.50 ERA. So Miggy Rowe,
He pitched last year, right, Brad? Is it the second time?
he, I think he did pitch last year, but
Yeah,
remember Kike also pitched.
that's right.
Kike got some more pitching. I think Kike's ERA is actually better than Miggy Rowe's ERA
I mean,
last year.
I
This
thought it
year.
was fine because the game was over anyway. I mean, it was the worst loss in franchise history at home, and
Oh my
the
gosh.
Dodgers were done in that. They were cooked already by the time he came out.
How and you just think about that. All right, Dodger Stadium opens its doors in 1962, right? And there has never been a home blowout skunk that big in the history of Dodger Stadium. That's going a long
Well, this goes
ways.
back to Ebbets Field, Brad. I mean,
Oh, it does.
1898.
It even goes.
Yeah,
It
so
even
it's the
goes
worst.
back
Yeah, it's the worst loss, Brooklyn or LA.
16 to
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
I mean, and granted, it was 11-0 before Miggy took over. I mean, do you think did the Dodgers do that right? If you were a manager, would you just let that happen? Put in the guy, put in Miggy for some
Yeah,
fun
no,
and get.
I agree with Dave Roberts. I think you can't risk a pitcher there, especially the way the pitching is so limited. You have a limited amount of people you can use with all the injuries and all that, and the Dodgers are going to be using their bullpen more now with the Blake Snell injury. So I think you have to pick and choose there, and the game was basically finished. And yeah, but bringing out Miggy was fine there. The only thing is, I guess, I think the Cubs are just a team that, it's just funny how everybody hates the Dodgers, Brad. I mean, it's funny how we just get so much hate. All the
So
teams
much.
hate us. All the fans hate us. Every time we do something fun on the field, going back to the days where we celebrated at Chase Field and the pool, everybody just hates us.
Oh man,
Yeah,
they still hate
yeah,
that.
I know it's crazy.
Arizona's still mad at that.
Yeah,
I mean, remember the years after that, they made sure they had guards posted around the pool.
but
Like, let's
that's
not let.
BS, man. I mean, we won the
Yeah,
championship. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
A couple people firing off right now. It looks like.
Yeah, Riley, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Bearded, good morning. Thanks a lot. Ray saying, come on, Blue Crew, get it together. Roberts can send Pajes down and bring up Kim. What do you think about that? So, should Ray saying that we should send Andy down? Of course, didn't get a chance to play yesterday.
Yeah.
They sat him down. So, what are your thoughts on? We have to talk a lot about what's going on with the team because the Dodgers just
Yeah.
lost another series. But let's answer Ray's question. What do you think? Should we send Andy down at this time?
100% yes. I 100% yes. And it's not just that I'm harping on what he's doing because first of all, defense, he's made up for the bad defensive plays that he had early on that road trip. And look, you saw him snag that. That would have been a grand slam home run. He pulled that thing back in. So props to him, but you can't give Pajes credit with the bat. 149? 149 is not going to do it, man. You cannot be in the play center field and be putting up numbers like a 149. So even if you're making the most stellar catches at all, you've got to step it up. So he's done what he struck out almost 20 times almost half of his at bats he has struck out. 19 Ks with 47 at bats. He's had 2 important home runs. His OPS 571. Pajes needs to go get down there, and the reason also being because, and I'll give you 2 reasons. Kim is playing really good right now, and also it's Korean Heritage Night on Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Do you not have him at Dodger Stadium on Wednesday against the final wrap-up against the Rockies?
Yeah, I see. I didn't know about that, Brad. So probably, most likely we're going to see Kim come up then, probably before Wednesday. It makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not a charity by any way because he's putting up numbers. I think he's been a little bit over 3, but I think he's high 2s right now, his batting average. But the guy's got speed. He knows how to play. I mean, I think you send him down. You put Edman back out there, and you put Kim on second, and see what goes on. You're against the Rockies. I don't think the Rockies could come to Dodger Stadium at a better time for us right now. We need a crappy team to play so they can get back into it and get that mojo back because, man, this has been horrible to watch. And if you go back, Mike, go back and look at the start of the whole season where we ripped off all those wins and we got those wins. Those wins were courtesy of the freaking long ball. The batting averages were still low. Yeah. Guys weren't getting hits, but it would be a savior moment where someone cracks one over the fence, and that's how it happened. So if you take away those home runs from the early part of the season, the Dodgers would not even be at 500 right now, which is the scary part about this.
Yeah, very true, Brad. And, speaking about Andy, I think Saturday, his big catch that he had to steal that grand slam away from Michael Busch kind of showed exactly why he's playing in the major leagues. Because he's an elite center fielder defensively. Mm-hmm. I think he really knows how to play the position. I haven't seen James Outman do that yet at this level. James Outman, I think, has struggled in that sense.
He has.
And then Chris Taylor, same thing. I mean, probably a few years back he was that kind of player, but now he's not. So I think that's why he's playing on that everyday center fielder role. But offensively, as we know, he's really struggled. Like you said, the numbers are way down, and I think it's a good time to set him down. But at the same time, the trade talks have to be there. I mean, the Dodgers have to be thinking about trading somebody like him to try to get, like Luis Robert Jr. We've covered that story here on the channel, a few different rumors. What do you think about the Dodgers trading for a player like that? I know he's a player that strikes out a lot. His numbers are down to kick off the year, but he had almost 40 home runs 2 years ago. So I think it's a good gamble.
But it's like, are you giving up at that point on Pajes? Are you just saying, okay, well, Pajes?
Yeah, well, I think it is a good time to give up on him because at this time, he hasn't shown that he's going to be an elite hitter at the major league. He's gotten a lot of shots already.
Yeah, but you gave Outman 2 shots at it. Outman was on the starting roster for the 2 years before,
and but Outman had a great Rookie of the Year. Did Pajes has he had a full year?
No.
That you can say, wow, he's going to be a major league hitter. I don't think so, Brad.
Yeah, how much do you give him? How much more time do you let him go out there and just not put up numbers?
Yeah.
Before you realize that's a production spot. Center field, you need to produce out of center field. I think that Bellinger had situations like that where Bellinger was above average on defense, but he had a couple of hiccups on offense. His swing was too big. It just wasn't working, and, that led to a low batting average for him. I think he's fixed that. But Pajes, I think, has to go down. Edman goes back to center field. Kim gets put on second base. And not only because of the Korean Heritage Day on Wednesday, but because he's shown numbers. And you spent money on him, put him up there and see what's going. He's almost hitting 300. I mean, Pajes 149, Conforto 224, Freddie 211, Austin Barnes, my goodness, 13 at bats, no hits. He's batting 0 still. Yeah. Kike's 114, Miggy's 161, and CT3, who has only 8 at bats this season, is 250. So the lower half of this lineup is just not getting it done. And like I said, if it wasn't for the big knocks, the big home runs early in the season, we'd be under 500. So we need to realize that. The Dodgers need to get back together, do what it takes, and just make this happen. If it means you've got to trade someone, then by all means, maybe you got to trade someone. You got to send someone down at least to let someone come up, especially if someone's proving it and getting hits. Why don't they have a chance to come up when you're not winning games?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I think the same thing with, the Dodgers offense is clearly showing that, like you're saying, lower lineup, lower portion of the lineup is really what's bringing this team down, right? I mean, the Dodgers have now lost 3 series this year. They lost a couple series on the road. It was a rough road trip. Then they come, they're back home and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. And of course, Friday they got a win, but Friday was kind of a strange game, right? Because the Cubs only had 2 hits the whole game. Yamamoto had a great performance. The Cubs only had 1 runner in scoring position. And the Dodgers had a 3-run shot from Edman, and that was it. But really,
that was it.
They didn't do anything all weekend. The whole weekend, Brad, they struggled. It wasn't just the day they won. Imagine that.
Yeah, absolutely correct. If it wasn't for Tommy Edman, that right there was a sweep. I mean, I just don't understand how. And if you're a Dodger fan and you're watching what's going on, and you're going, and I see the comments from people like, "Oh, it's okay, it's early in the season." No. Don't even start saying that, because once again, go back to the beginning of the season. If it wasn't for clutch home runs, we have a lot more L's than W's on the numbers. I mean, so it's one of those things that you can't be complacent with what the Dodgers are doing now and say, "Oh yeah, they're going to come around." You need to shake things up a little bit. You got to move people around, and that's what needs to happen. Look at Max Muncy right now, 24 strikeouts. Right? Nobody has that. Nobody on the team leads the league by at least 4 or 5 strikeouts. And that's with 51 at-bats, too. 176 and no home runs. When do you see Max, 51 at-bats into the season without a home run? So he is pressing, obviously, with a 487 OPS. So it's like, who comes in? Who does what?
You need Nolan Arenado, fast. We got to trade for him.
Something needs to happen as a permanent third base. And I know they were trying to say Fiducia could probably play first and third, because he's a catcher as well. But then I always look at Austin Barnes. When Austin Barnes gets his start, why is he getting that start? Especially when no one's hitting and he hasn't got a hit in 13 at-bats right now.
Oh, he's getting the start because when Rockies is a starting pitcher. That's
the only – and you're holding a spot for one guy –
Yeah, that's what they're doing. It's kind of like when Austin Barnes used to get the start when Kershaw. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
The same kind of deal. I think that's the same thinking that the Dodgers are employing here. Although you're wasting an up-bat. You're wasting basically an up-bat. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're throwing a bat away.
Yeah.
You say, he's more – and if it was Yamamoto, I would say okay, because Yamamoto's just been crushing it this season. So he's the best on the Dodgers right now. So I see why you do that, but it doesn't make sense when you look at 6 through 9 is just nothing. There's just no production. No one's hitting. I mean, besides Shohei, Tommy, Mookie, Will, and Teo, and even those guys have been struggling as of at least, but those guys got all above 8s on the OPS, and they're getting hits. But then you hit the 6th place, 7th, 8th, 9th, and oh man, here we go. Inning killers every single time.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what's going on, and also with you're talking about like Austin Barnes the way he's struggling. I mean that's the same thing with the whole. He's not the only player that's struggling, like you mentioned. We got Muncy, we got Pajes, we got all these guys struggling, and another player that's really struggling right now. He's had some tough games. I think we have to talk about is Shohei Ohtani, right? I mean, he went 0 for 5 yesterday. And I think that's I don't know. I know the other guys were kind of bagging on them, like hitting under 200. But come on, Otani had a historical year last year. He put up incredible offensive numbers, and I think that kind of masked a lot of other things that the Dodgers were lacking, right? Because he was doing basically everything. He was the MVP for the Dodgers, and he's gone off to a slow start. He's had a few moments of greatness.
He has, yeah.
But for the majority of the season, hitting under 300, it hasn't been very good, right? A lot of strikeouts, a lot of offers in the games, like 0 for 4, 0 for 5, and strikeouts, and maybe some. I don't know what's going on with Ohtani.
And he's got the most at-bats on the team right now, 66 at-bats he's had.
Yeah.
And like you said, under 3, 273. He does have 4 home runs, but it's like, well, Teo has 5 and Edman has 6. I mean, with 66 at-bat sample from the season, you expect Shohei to be doing better than that. And 18 total hits for him. His OPS 877. So, teetering towards that 9 spot, but he's pressing, it seems like. He is striking out a lot. 18 strikeouts, that's a lot for him. You don't expect him to have 18 Ks. That's probably 4th on the team right now.
Yeah, but I
And
mean, he's been a bit behind on his swings. I mean, and they're not like he's facing all these elite pitchers. I think Ohtani is a tick behind that he was last year. He has to be. I mean, with that amount of strikeouts, there's something a little bit off with him right now. And I don't know if it's the weekly pitching he's having, if that's throwing him off, or the shoulders bothering him again.
Boom. That's what I'm saying right there. Okay, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. I mean, what's he doing different this year than he was last year going into the season? Well, last year he focused 100% on being a DH for the Dodgers, a very successful one indeed. This year, he's trying to get ready so he can pitch as well. So it's bullpen sessions, it's once a week, it's the whole pitching side of things. So that's got to play a psych in your mind a little bit, that now you've got to step into that role too as well. And I've said from the beginning, I think he's too important to be put as a both ways player. I think that he should be focusing on DH for him, especially when you see the numbers going on now that he's dropping. Is he going to turn it around? But he's getting fooled out there. He's getting fooled a lot when you see it, and you're just like, well, you expect it to be the Ohtani of last year.
I don't know if he's being fooled. I think he's just behind. Because Ohtani's on the pitches. He's just behind. That's all.
But he's making bad decisions too, though.
You think he's making bad decisions on some of the pitches he's swinging at?
Yeah, and some of the pitches he's not swinging at.
Yeah.
Like he's struck out looking a few times where you're like, "Whoa, that thing! What? You're not going to put a bat to that?"
Yeah.
So there's something going on there. I mean, I don't want to fire the alarm bells yet at 273 because what if he comes out and starts crushing it and goes 4 for 4 like 2 games in a row? Then no one's talking about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have to wait and see. I think this series, like you're talking about, Brad, against the Rockies, a team that only has 3 wins this season. They're a rebuilding team.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3 wins. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing the Rockies in at the middle of a horrible baseball by the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Yeah, and you know, of course, they lost like Charlie Blackmon, one of my favorite players. He had the best hair. I mean, come on, as a long-haired dude, I think Charlie Blackmon was awesome. But anyway,
and he was with them. His
whole career.
His whole entire, which you do not see in baseball like that, like a Kershaw or something like that, being there with the Dodgers his whole career.
And he had the outfield as his walk-up song. Remember the Your Love, that song?
Yep.
Yeah. So he was a cool guy, but you know he of course retired. But now you know the Rockies are a team they're really struggling. I think the Dodgers are going to have to take advantage of that, playing at home too. And let's go for 3 wins. I think the Dodgers got to try to get a sweep here. That's what I'm hoping for.
A couple of messages here. This one says from Caesar says, "Good morning, fellas. Been brutal to watch lately. Definitely." Tim Rash says, "I stand with Brad. Bring up Kim. We don't need Luis Robert. We have enough strikeouts in our lineup already. If the Dodgers are going to make a trade, I'd rather they go for Arenado, like you said too." So.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think we got to go trade for Arenado. And although we've mentioned it before that the Cardinals, I think, are adamant to not trade him to the Dodgers. So it's going to be rough.
No.
It's going to be really rough getting that trade done.
I feel like they're going to just, unless they were completely like 20 games out or some point, maybe that's something they do. But if they're any sort of in contention at all, they're not going to do that. But I will go out on a line right now and say that Brad Stradamus, hold on, will predict that Kim will get brought up and he will play at least Wednesday night for a Korean Heritage Night.
Are we going to drink out of the shoe if that doesn't happen, Brad?
I got the shoe behind me,
Oh, my God. Those of you that remember Brad had to drink out of his shoe when Walker Buehler went to the Red Sox. That was the time you had to drink out of your shoe, remember?
Yep, it's still got some coffee stains in that thing as well. Yeah, I still, that blows me away that Walker did not stay with the Dodgers. I just thought that dude was going to stay with the Dodgers.
The way things are going now, Brad, it might have been a mistake to let him go. So
exactly right. You're looking at it now, like, I mean, what did Glasnow's ERA is almost at 5 now, 4.85. Yeah. So that's not a good number to mess with. Casparius at 5.06. Luis Garcia, what is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, he's pitching BP. 7.27 is his ERA right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Garcia that we brought over as a free agent. And yeah, I mean, the Dodgers pitching, now that you bring that up, I mean, before the season started, I remember we kind of talked about this, how I mentioned that I thought Yamamoto was going to be the ace on this team. He was clearly the best. He is. He's proved it, right? I mean, he's proved that he's the best pitcher on the Dodgers. He's earned that role. Blake Snell being out, I mean, Yamamoto is going to be the guy. But outside of that, Glasnow, I'm a bit disappointed. Although, come on, he didn't really have a terrible game yesterday. He made a couple mistakes, but he just didn't get any run support. But in reality, there hasn't been enough pitching this year for the Dodgers to feel confident in some of these games, right? Because they haven't had the best. Although last year, Brad, that was the same issue they had. They didn't have pitching, but their offense was insane. So maybe the Dodgers' pitching was never that good. I don't know what everybody thinks out there. Maybe the pitching was never that good in reality. We just had a very good offense.
Well, Spokane Steve says you guys are panicking. Look, Spokane Steve, I'm not panicking. But we're just look, you can't ignore what's going on. I mean, look, you cannot ignore what's going on with the Dodgers right now. There is no hitting. There's like 6 guys that are below 200. When you have 6 guys that are below 200 and you're setting these guys out every single day and your pitchers are trying to keep you in the game, you don't got a chance, man. You don't got a chance to stay in it. So it's not panicking so much as just be a realist, man. The only reason they won probably, 4 come from behind games were the bombs that they did early in the season. Take those away, and I'm telling you, they're under 500 if you take some of those clutch hits early in the season because the batting averages and the hits have not been coming for the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, they're just not really. It's just not consistent, I think. Like we're getting just moments of like I said, moments of greatness out of Otani. Mookie Betts has started off the season well. He had a couple big homers in that first series against the Tigers.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Freeman. I mean, he hasn't done much. He hasn't played very much. He was hurt for a while.
He hasn't.
And he came back this weekend, and he didn't really look himself, Brad. I mean,
he did not.
He doesn't look 100%, unfortunately. I mean, let's be honest. Does he look 100% to you? He doesn't to me.
Nope. And I'm not saying it's the ankle, but you've heard me always talk about the fact that we got to pay close attention to the ankle because that's going to have some issues in the future going forward. We're going to see that. It's going to happen. He's batting .211 right now, but he's only had just under 20 at bats. So he hasn't had a lot of ABs. He's only struck out 3 times. Although he's got a small sample, 829 OPS for him. So I'm not worried about Freddie. I feel like Freddie just needs to get into the groove, and he's going to be fine. And Mookie's been doing well. 288, he's batting. Will Smith, people forget, Will Smith's batting 341.
Yeah.
Like 341. That's pretty big. He's got the highest OPS on the team at 969 with 41 at bats. So
nobody talks about him because he gets lost in the lineup. Like Dodgers have so many hitters. It's just like that's what happens.
But they do, but no one's hitting besides him right now. It seems like.
Yeah.
And Teo, who was pretty clutch to start the year with runners in scoring position or runners on the bags, has had some problems here in the last few games.
Yeah.
I mean, you could blame the cold in Washington, sure, but you knew the weather getting into it when you got there. But that's not a good team to beat you 2 out of 3. I mean, it's a whole different thing. The Phillies are expected to do good. I get that. But also to lose against the Cubs, I think is a tough one too as well, to lose that many against them. To lose the series is not good at home and have a record-breaking 16-0 game. That's absolutely ridiculous. And if that doesn't send a message, you got to think like, okay, if I'm on the team, I think it's time for a players-only team meeting where it's like, here's the deal, guys. We got to step this thing up. We got to make it happen. I think the players have got to get together on this and all get on the same page.
But maybe if you look at it closely this year, looking at the Dodgers team, it's like maybe they just can't have the same kind of offensive output that they had last year. I mean, I think we expect a lot out of the Dodgers because they were extraordinary last year. I mean, like Teo had a really good year, above average year. Otani had the best year of his career. Maybe those kind of numbers just cannot be replicated because it's not possible, And it's just going to be either less runs this year, less home runs, and the only way the Dodgers contend for a World Series is if their pitching, the acquisitions they got, end up stepping up, right, and having good years.
Yeah.
Let's say Blake Snell never really recovers, never has a good year. How do the Dodgers really possibly contend for a World Series? They can't. They just can't. I don't know. I just can't. I think we have to hold it on the Dodgers. We expect a bit too much sometimes, I think, out of this team offensively because they're doing well. If you look, I mean, they got a lot of home runs right now. I mean, a lot of teams would love to have that. Their averages are low, But they're still producing at a decent amount. If you look at all the games, right? Recently they've kind of slowed down. The Cubs had great pitching too. I mean, we're gonna see like this week against the Rockies, right? The Rockies have lousy pitching. The Dodgers should score. I mean, if they don't score runs against the Rockies, then we're kind of in trouble. I think. Then we have to start panicking on Thursday morning.
Okay,
we'll have to call a special show on Thursday if we lose the series. I mean, come on.
So we can hold the panic until we lose to the Rockies.
Yeah, if we lose against the Rockies, then I think we're gonna have to start panicking because the Rockies are an awful team. I mean, baseball unfortunately has a lot of bad teams where teams are like completely out of it even now, and the Rockies are one of those. They are one of those teams.
Yeah. Here's one. Tim Rash says an Amish website gets more hits than the Dodgers do right now.
That's funny, man.
I mean, it's kind of true. But you talk about expecting too much out of a team, mate. Like we're expecting too much offense. But wait a minute. Shohei's on the team. Mookie's on the team. Freddie's on the team. Teo's on the team. Like to me, these four guys should have 30 home runs by the end of the year. There should be 4 guys with 30 home runs for sure, and there's a possibility of 5. So
I know,
with the
Brad,
talent,
it's hard to do that after winning a World Series. It's hard. It's not easy.
It is hard because teams are coming to play you.
Yeah, look at the Cubs.
They come to play, and you know what? And I always hate it. It's that former Dodger curse, right? Anytime we're playing someone that's got a former Dodger on the dang team, that dude seems to play way above what he normally plays like. And I like Bush. I mean, I liked him when he was a Dodger, but he's come out and he's the latest guy. And I see this happening. It's like, don't give the opportunity to a former Dodger because they come in there almost with like a chip on their shoulder to try and they're going to outdo it or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, look, I mean, Bush has been insane at Dodger Stadium. He's been like his numbers are crazy. You know, and he's taking advantage. You know, he like you said, he comes in motivated, has a chip on his shoulder, and the Dodgers really paid a price for it this weekend. But I just think, I mean, we should expect at least 30 home runs from all those guys, but it's going to be hard because I think, like you said, a lot of teams come to play the Dodgers now, and it's just hard to continue the same kind of rhythm that you had a year earlier, right? I mean, I think if you look at like teams that win dynasties, I mean. One year it's the hitting, and the next year it's the pitching. It's hard to do it the same way in both years in baseball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, the Dodgers need somebody to be Yamamoto. Maybe he's that guy. Maybe he has a historical year. And somebody else too. They need a couple pitchers to really have good years. I think, like really good years. 2 of them, I think.
I was far off because when I saw us in the offseason picking up pitchers and doing what the Dodgers were doing, I was like. We got it. Pitching's fine. We are locked into pitching for the whole next season. So I was one of those guys who got caught up in it thinking that our troubles are solved. And then all of a sudden here we are like, no, they're not.
Well, the Blake Snell injury changed everything.
Yeah,
I mean, Blake Snell is the biggest signing we had in the offseason. He is. I mean, I think he is. He's the biggest. I mean, let's be honest. What does everybody think? Is Blake Snell the biggest acquisition from this offseason? I think he is.
Okay, what do you think on this? So Blake Snell and Andrew Friedman are good friends going all the way back to Florida days, right?
Yeah.
So these guys have known each other forever. And that's why I almost think that plan or that much you paid for him and all that, could he have got it somewhere else? Are you picking more because he's a friend? I mean, obviously the guy's a great player no matter what. But in the long run, if he's injured all season long, not saying he's going to be, but if he is that pickup done more with your heart than your actual – stats and looking at everything together, age, and taking it all into consideration?
Well, the amount of money that he got from the Dodgers has to be, Brad, because I don't think any other team was offering that kind of amount. Was it like 180, 190 that he ended up getting? Nobody was offering that.
And this is why I talk about with Friedman, because he's friends with him.
Yeah.
He's been friends with him for many years, so he wanted him on the team. Is that a situation where it's like you pick the guy because of that? We're going to throw this money at him because he's my bro, and I'm going to just give him a bunch of cash to play, and then he's injured after, 3 games or 2 games? Like,
Yeah, and this happened last year with the Giants, too.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was out for a few months after that. Sure, he came back and had a great second half of the year, but, I mean, the Dodgers don't – who wants your pitcher to be out a couple months or a month? Like, nobody wants that. Because in that time, look at all the damage it does. I mean, you have to use AAA pitchers. You have to use bullpen games.
Oh, my gosh,
it
right?
takes a lot of damage out of you when that happens.
Oh, I
Another
don't
thing,
know.
too, Otani's not ready to pitch yet. If he was ready to pitch right now, then it would be a different conversation. But he's not ready.
No, maybe he should focus on hitting right now because he's been stumbling a little bit too. And you talk about bringing pitchers up. Okay, so we've had to bring pitchers up. Snell goes down, so Knack gets brought up. What's Knack's ERA now? 10.38. Okay, Robleski gets brought up. What's his ERA? 14.40. And Knack, they're going to keep him up there with Robleski got sent down. But, I mean, I don't know. What did he pitch? 40 pitches in the first inning of that game?
Yeah.
That Knack
really
pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next is probably going to call Bobby Miller next, and we know how that went last year. So
you got to wonder. And if you're scared to call him up, can you trade him for someone that you're not scared to call up? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers. Yeah, when it comes to the pitching, unfortunately, the injuries are going to start to pile up. If we have another pitcher go down, then we're basically back to where we were last year. The bullpen again and all that, and it's hard to win another World Series that way. I mean, we won a World Series last year with 2 pitchers. It just can't happen again. You can't do it back-to-back years.
I'm praying every day that Yamamoto stays healthy, right?
Yeah,
because that's a dude that we need. Because when you look at the schedule and you look at Yamamoto's start day, you can almost say, okay, that's a W that day. But you cannot do that the rest of the pitching right now, the way it's gone. And then May's on the mound. May's on the mound tonight. Right?
Yeah, today.
0.82 is his ERA. He seems like he's lost about 3 miles an hour on his fastball.
Yeah, people were talking about that. Yeah.
Are we concerned about that, or is he going to be the next victim?
Yeah, I mean, that obviously he had the surgery, Tommy John, right, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball until now. And yeah, the fastball is clearly a couple miles down. So Dustin May is obviously going to have to make adjustments and rely on his other pitches, right? I mean, he can't just be directly a fastball pitcher, but then that starts to take a toll on your arm and all that, and you could end up going down. So yeah, I mean, I just think the Dodgers, the Snell injury really changed everything. See, when they signed Blake Snell, I mean, I really think they thought he was going to be the number 1 guy because they even put him out there on opening day against the Tigers. I mean, they could have easily went with Yamamoto. They said no, we're going to go with Snell because that was basically their like they were telling Snell, you're going to be the guy this year. Right? That's what they were kind of telling him psychologically.
Look, and that's a big thing. As of, when I worked for the Dodgers back in the 5-6 years I was there as a DJ, that opening day starter is so important to them. And you could say it's not, but in the Dodgers world, your opening day starter at home is so important. And so that shows you the confidence that they had in Snell from the beginning. That's why he was put out there. And like you said, that's why, hey, man, you're the guy, you're the dude, you're the one. And so you go out there like that. So I don't know what it holds for us with Snell in the future. You got to hope that he's going to be able to come back. But
we don't have a timetable for his return, which is even more concerning.
No, not at all.
Exactly. Because there's people asking. I know there's some people have been asking about that. But I mean, really, I don't know if you've seen any reports. I haven't seen anything about the Dodgers talking about Snell's recovery or nothing.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good news.
When they do that, I feel like they're hiding stuff from us. I mean, and I'm, once again, not trying to call the whole organization out, but I feel like that happens right there. That's where you're like, well, let's not release any info because he's probably going to stay on a lot longer. But now, talk about Dustin May for tonight. He needs to have a game. He needs to pitch well because how many articles have you seen where people are floating the idea of trading Dustin May?
A lot.
I think that would shut that down if Dustin comes out, has a good game, gets the win, doesn't give up a bunch of hits and runs. Because then all of a sudden you're looking at him and you're looking at Yamamoto as your top two guys on the team currently. So would you trade him? I think that trade talk would back down a lot if Dustin steps up and has a good game.
Yeah, well, and he should. I mean, the Rockies, like we said, are a team that is not very good. This is a good time to get that confidence up for everybody, pitchers and hitters. Get that confidence up before next weekend when they going to be taking on the Texas Rangers in Texas, right? Going back on the road. So that's obviously going to be a tougher series than the series they got now against the Rockies. So they got to try to pile up wins. I think it's going to be a difficult time until they get fully recovered. When Snell comes back, then I'll feel a little bit better because I think it's always going to be a bit of an issue for them. And then of course, unfortunately, the way the teams in like the Giants and Padres are playing good right now. I mean, it puts more pressure on the Dodgers.
Completely. They're going out and winning every day.
It's crazy.
It's like, and then we're just dropping like stones right now. So I think what the Dodgers need to do, I'm going to calm down here for a second, okay? The Dodgers need to come out and take care of Colorado. If
they don't, we're panicking. I'm panicking Thursday morning.
100%.
We're calling a special show on Thursday to bet.
The teams you're supposed to beat, you're supposed to beat them. The Rockies are a team the Dodgers are supposed to beat.
Yeah.
There's 3 games. If you win those 3 games, let's say if you swept in the most obvious, that would be awesome if that happened. You swept the Rockies in 3 games. So at least you're coming away with 4 out of 6 on the homestand.
Yeah.
And not coming out with a losing number.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Because you got to win the series. You got to win the series no matter what.
Yeah, so they don't win the series. Come on.
Yeah, you win 2 of them, now you're 500 at home. When the Dodgers being at home is probably the best place for them to play than any other team, because the Dodgers have such a home field advantage when they're home because there's big crowds. Because Dodger Stadium seats 56,000 people.
Oh yeah.
And every night is pretty much 50 or above every night.
Especially this year. They won the World Series. I mean, fans are very excited. Exactly. I'm sure everybody out there was super excited and still is for what this team could do because they just won the World Series, right? I mean, there's a lot of, and speaking about fans, let's go through the comments. I know we've been kind of going at it a lot today. Appreciate Coach G, High Desert. There were a lot of home runs last year, and pitching was much better. That's right. Cesar says, too bad there will be more Barnes because they will want Smith not to be burned for the playoffs like last year. Eric says, any word on Dalton rushing?
No, I did not. Did not hear anything on that. I will check into it, Eric. That's a good one.
Flop says we need to steal Pete Crow Armstrong from the Dodgers.
From the Cubs,
James says, hi, guys. Zoo says they didn't really need to step up. It's been brutal. Muncy needs to go to C3. James says the Cubs suck. Yeah. Well, appreciate everybody who's hopping on the stream. If you're seeing this for the first time, we see a lot of new names. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. The algorithm is probably going to send you this way because the Dodgers are, come on, we're posting here every day, and we need to get those subscriber counts up, and appreciate everybody for their support.
Yeah, we want to get to that double-digit thousands mark. We want to get to that 10 mark for sure. But yeah, I like what James Bostrom said about Cubs suck. There's no way Dodgers should have lost to them. Not only that, what's going on with Otani? Yeah, exactly. You have to look at what the Dodgers did, and you have to look at, once again, 6 through 9 has not been hitting. 6 guys on the team batting under 200. Hey, and CT3's credits, the dude's only had 8 at bats, and at least he's batting 250. So he's got 2 hits.
Let me ask you, Brad, if the 6 through 9 guys don't turn it around this year, do you think the Dodgers have a shot to win? Or you think they got to turn it around?
I think the Dodgers still have a shot to win, even if they don't turn it around. But Dave Roberts will have to go back to his overmanagement days and start bringing dudes up and letting people play and if guys can't hit, if they keep not hitting, like you said, if we're in panic mode by the end of Colorado and there's Dodgers lost 2 of 3 or 3 of 3, God forbid on that. Well, what do you do? At that point, come on. You have to do something. And who's ever hitting over there, bring them up, give them a shot at it.
Well, yeah, we're going to be in full panic mode for sure. I think everybody would because the Rockies are a pretty bad team. And unfortunately, though, I think the Dodgers have a lot of pressure going into the series, I think, which is never a good thing. That's not a good thing, though, in baseball.
No, it's not. But you know what? But championship teams rise to the occasion, and the pressure needs to be on them a little bit. And that's why I said that they need to have a players-only team meeting and all get together.
Well, who's going to organize it? Kershaw, Mickey Rowe? Because the Dodgers, that's their leader. Who's the leader right now?
Right? I mean, maybe Mookie needs to be the one to get everyone together and do the rally call. I mean, or maybe Teo. Somebody's got to get to step up and get everyone on the same page. That's great that they're working on their hit celebration. Where they do the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
That's great that you guys work on that. But let's work on actually getting the base hits so you can do more of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think of the Dodgers, like you said, they're a championship team, and you just hope. I don't know. I'm just a bit concerned because you win a championship, it's never the same thing the second year, right? I mean, the
No.
Dodgers. Remember last year, all the pressure they had to win a World Series because they had never won, since 2021, and they got in Shohei Ohtani. And I don't know, do the players feel that same pressure going into this year? I mean, you would hope they do. But if they start losing and struggling at the early get-go, then we're going to start to talk about a World Series hangover,
Okay.
I mean, that's how it works in sports, right?
Okay, so let me put it this way. So if when you get into baseball and you want to play in Major League, and I would think what's the number one thing that you want to do is win a World Championship. So when you do win a World Championship and you do win a World Series, does that take the pressure off? Because now, hey, that was my main goal, is to win a championship, and I've done that.
Yeah.
So you can't ever take that away from me. But how do you now tell yourself, well, now what's my goal? To win a second championship. I mean, look at Mookie.
Yeah,
I mean,
you would
multiple.
hope that, but it's not so easy, I think, because winning a World Series or a championship in any sport takes a lot out of you, right? It takes a lot out of you mentally and physically, and you had to play more games than everybody else. So the next year you kind of have a little bit less. I mean, look at the Cubs. Look how much motivation they got right now. Like the Cubs haven't won since 16. They got a bunch of young players. They got a lot to prove, you see. And what do the Dodgers have to prove to us this year, really? What do they have to prove? I mean, they're a great team. They're all these guys. A lot of these guys are going to the Hall of Fame. That's what I see.
Okay, so here's the proof. I mean, you have an all-star caliber team. You've put together probably arguably one of the best teams ever in baseball. So you should have some pressure to produce. You should have that pressure to produce with all these top talents, to finish like third or to finish fourth or second in your division with the talent that you have. That's a disgrace. You can't do that.
Well, no, and it's one thing.
It's one thing if you don't got the players, but they got the players, and so the pressure should be to win with these guys you have, because you have some of the best players. You have one of the best teams in baseball. You should definitely be winning.
So and here's the thing too, Brad. I mean, all the money that they spent in the offseason, right? The payroll is way up.
Exactly.
Everybody jumped on the Dodgers all offseason long. Oh, they're spending too much money. They're stealing all the players away. They signed everybody. It's not fair. And all that, right? Everybody was pissed off at us all offseason long, and still are. And if the Dodgers don't win despite doing all that, then it's going to look pretty bad, I think. I think this offseason, the way that they went out aggressively to get out all these players, which, I mean, two of them, frankly, haven't done too much, Snell and Sasaki. Sasaki has struggled. Snell is injured. Two of their biggest signings are not producing right now. And if they never produce this year, I mean, that's not going to help them in any way, and people are going to say, they're going to just jump on the Dodgers for nothing, just like when they didn't win a few years back and they were the best team and they lost in the first round, right? I mean, not winning the division this year would be catastrophic for them in terms of well, think about it, would be not.
No, you're right. Yeah. I'm laughing because I start thinking ahead, going, wow, that would be completely ridiculous, but that is the way they're playing now. That could be a possibility.
No, see, the thing is, because I think the other teams, I don't know, I'm really surprised with the Giants, right? And I hope they don't keep it going. I really hope that fizzles out. I mean, they just won 2 out of 3 in New York against the Yankees, right? I mean, that's a big concern. If this team is for real, and we know San Diego's not going anywhere, right? I mean, they might not be better than the Dodgers, but they're going to still be playing good baseball. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think San Diego's going to play good baseball here, right? Even let's say they don't win the division, but they're going to play good baseball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a given.
Yeah. I feel like the Giants will fade. I think they're playing over their head right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that no one predicted the Giants to be doing that. Everyone predicted Arizona to be better than the Giants this year. So it's like,
well, the Jordan Montgomery injury made a big difference, though. I mean, that's a big
completely,
one.
100%. Yeah. But I just still think Giants are playing over their head. And I think they'll come back to reality. I think the real battle is obviously going to be Dodgers and Padres when it comes down to it, to win the division.
Those two teams, you think so?
Yeah, and I would say, if you would have asked me when the Dodgers were winning, at the start of the season, I'd be all, yeah, dude, Dodgers are going to do it. They're going to beat. Now I'm like, well, This is going to be a very interesting series.
Well, it seems like it's going to be a battle now, which, I mean, it's good because the Dodgers are probably not going to clinch as early as I thought, right, because of the slow start that they're having. They're not going to probably, they're not going to have a 20-game lead probably ever.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that.
And you don't even play the Padres till June something.
Yeah.
So you don't even see them in May at all. So whatever the records are, by the time they get together, they'll be in a lot of baseball played by that time.
Yeah.
So it'll be a whole different story, too.
And the Padres always play the Dodgers tough. I mean, they almost knocked us out of the playoffs. I mean, let's not forget that. They almost beat us in the playoffs. So
once again, they play over their head when they're playing against Dodgers. And one thing I'm not going to – and I hate to bring it up, but on the Padres, Jay Hayes on the Padres, right?
Yeah.
So I worry about us playing and him coming up to bat. I have nightmares of him doing something like to the Dodgers. So it's that former Dodger curse that I always worry about when the Dodgers are playing someone who has a chip on their shoulder and wants to come out and do something. And I guarantee when we do play the Padres, Jay Hay is like a guy who's like, he's not an everyday player, but believe me, he can come out and do something.
Yeah, especially after the Dodgers released him after a walk-off home run. You remember that? Remember Dave Roberts coming out to celebrate with him, and then we released him the next day? I mean, that's always going to be forever. I remember doing a video on him that night.
Tell me you're not pissed, yeah?
And then the next day, he gets released. I mean, come on. I mean, I've never heard of that. I mean, I know the Dodgers made that move because they had to make it, but I mean, that was crazy. And I'm sure he still remembers that, winning the game for the Dodgers and getting released the next day.
Now, they're willing to make moves like that, so why aren't you willing to make moves to the guys that are hitting under 200, to the 5 or 6 guys on the team currently that are not producing? Why don't you make some moves? If you're going to make a move like that after a guy has a game-winning home run, then make some moves. Let's experiment then, okay? I mean, obviously, it's Colorado, so you want to – guys that are slumping, you kind of want to put them in because you want them to get out of their slump, and you figure – well, a good way to get out of your slump is to play a subpar team, and that's Colorado. So you run Muncy back out there. You keep doing that. So I don't know. But Dodgers have got to have a sense of urgency when it comes to tonight with May on the mound, for sure.
Let's go through the comments real quick. Appreciate it, James. All the comments. We got this guy says, I think he's probably not a Dodger fan, but Pop says the Dodgers are done. Yeah, see, now we're getting some non-Dodger fans, I think, on the street infiltrating Dodgers Digest. I mean, come on, the Dodgers are not done. They're far from done.
Yeah,
I mean, this team is still the best team, I think, in baseball on paper. And
that's a Padre fan. What do you think?
That's a Padre or a Giants fan, one of those two.
Padre, Giant fan, or Yankee fan? You take your pick. A, B, or C on that guy.
Yeah, I mean, come on, the Dodgers are not done. No way. And then we got Frozen Hell says the Dodgers must prove they can defend their championship. I like that. The Dodgers
100%
have to prove it, right? I mean, just because you win last year doesn't mean they're gonna give it to you again. You got to go out there and prove you're gonna win it again, right? And I think that comes with a lot of self-motivation to go out there and prove it every day, right? And that comes with the players, right? I mean, we can't jump on Dave Roberts here and be like, oh, he's got to motivate his team. I mean, come on. Dave Roberts has done a great job. He won the World Series for us last year. And I think now the players got to get some heat right here, I think.
Yeah.
Because Dave Roberts has made a couple mistakes. I know Casper's like he shouldn't have came out for the 7th inning after giving up a run. But that's about it. That's the only big mistake I've seen this year from Roberts.
That was a big one because there was 4 straight guys reached base, and there was nobody in the bullpen even starting to warm up.
And it was only a 2-0 game, too. It was only a 2-0 game. It wasn't a blowout at that point. So I don't know what was going on there. Maybe Dave Roberts. That's the question. I mean, there's always those strange scenarios with Dave Roberts that you have no idea what he's doing. And that's why people jump on him and say he's the worst. Because in situations like that. Yeah. Because what were the Dodgers thinking there, keeping him out for a 2nd inning after he had a rough 6th inning and gave the game away in the 7th?
Because I feel that Dave Roberts has changed the way he treats pitchers sometimes. I feel like as he's gotten older and been in management for a while now, I feel like he wants to let them work themselves out of the jam. I think that he tries to give them the longest leash possible. And in that situation right there, that came to bite us in the booty right away on that one because
he shouldn't have been out there in that inning, period.
Yeah.
He should have been taken out after the 6th inning. He had a rough 6th inning, and Dave Roberts said, you know what, you gave up a run. I'm going to go to the next guy now, not bring him out again for the 7th inning. Look at Casperis. He threw like 50 pitches. How many days is it going to take for him to recover now? I mean, are we even going to see him against the Rockies? I mean, that took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, why would you throw somebody out there for so long and then set him back like 2-3 days? Like, because these guys are not machines. He has to rest now. He had half a start basically in 2 innings.
No, it's just like when we talk about Knack as a starting pitcher, and so they brought Knack. They had a choice of keeping Robleski up top or Knack up top. Well, Knack literally 40 pitches in 1 inning. The first inning, he threw 40 pitches. That is a lot right there. That's a lot to throw down. But then you keep him up and you send Robleski down, and both of those starts were very depressing. So it's like, is Knack going to be our guy? I mean, then you got Gonsolin coming back, Kershaw at some point.
Well, it's just overuse. I mean, that's why some of these guys are overused, I think. I mean, these guys are not going to be like, I can't pitch anymore. I mean, the management are like, you know what, stay out there. And I think that's why we see injuries sometimes too, because they do overuse some of these guys, especially in the bullpen at times, right? Yeah. Because they use, I mean, come on, the starting pitchers, they're really protective of these guys. Like, nope, he can't go above 90 pitches. He can't go above 95 or whatever they got on him. And then these relief pitchers are like, you're going to have to throw 45 pitches today. And true. I can only throw 10 or 15, but no, you're throwing 40 today. It's like, come on, I don't get that at all. With the
and you look at how they manage as a starter, Sasaki. Like, they're very protective over how they play. Like, if he's getting into trouble, they really have to decide, okay, do we let him work out of this, or will this ruin his psyche? What do we do here? So it seems like the Dodgers always have to kind of with him, and he threw 80 pitches his last start, which is that's the most he's thrown. So that's a good sign. If we could get him, to be able to do 80 pitches and make it to the 6th inning, or even make it to the 7th, that would be insane.
I'm just concerned with Roki if he can stay healthy, because we saw Yamamoto go down, early June, and that's what I'm concerned with. I mean, can Roki really go a full year without any arm discomfort, pitching in the United States for the first time, a heavier baseball, a different game? That's what's going to be a bit concerning, right? I mean, can he really go a full year? And if he goes down, it will be big for the Dodgers, because this guy does start a game once a week. He's not an everyday fifth starter, but every 5 days. But still, that'd be another start the Dodgers would have to look around for if he were to go down for any period of time.
So you got to manage him correctly too. You got to make sure that you're not overworking him. So for the Dodgers, what they're looking at, they're going to take care of him too. Make sure that he's not overtaxed, because you don't have the options of losing him right now. You definitely don't. So we need May tonight to be the guy to step up for sure.
Yeah, Dustin May's got to step up. The Rockies are coming to LA, and they're struggling right now. The Dodgers are a team that's still one of the best teams in the National League. Sure, they've lost some series as of late, but they're still near the top. And you would hope the Dodgers can get some wins. And then this weekend, Brad, they got a tough series out in Texas.
Yes, they do.
That's going to be a fun series. We know the Texas Rangers won the World Series a couple years back. They still got Bruce Bochy. They still got Corey Seager. They still got a lot of good players on that team.
They do. Don't they have Jock Peterson too? I'm pretty sure Jock signed with them too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be a fun games to watch, and the Dodgers are going to have to step. I mean, I just think the Dodgers just confirms that it's probably not going to be as easy as a year as we thought it was going to be. And there's going to be adversity again, like last year. The Dodgers had a lot of adversity last year. Remember last year, all the injuries they had? They were down and out at times. San Diego was up against them, and even was in first place for a bit, if I'm not mistaken, early in the year. And now the same thing is happening, right? So they're just going to have to kind of keep it going, and just like, the pitching's got to be better. I think that's the key. The offense is obviously, I think it's going to get better, the offense, but it's not going to be at the same level as last year. It's impossible for them to do it again. Otani's going to have less home runs, less stolen bases. His average is going to be lower, and the pitching is going to have to be better this season.
Yep, and they'll have their streaks. Well, I just think that the key is tonight, May needs to do good to stop all the talking of, let's trade May for someone. Let's trade May for a third baseman. No, May needs to stay on the team. We need him to pitch good tonight, and the Dodgers need to come away with a win and start things off strong against Colorado.
And that's it. What was it? You mentioned to the fans, you're drinking out of your shoe if we lose the series. What was it? Just make sure we get it on the record.
Oh my gosh. Okay. If the Dodgers, I predict the Dodgers to take 2 of 3 or 3 of 3. It's either a sweep, but they're gonna win the series. If the Dodgers don't win the series, yes, I will grab the shoe.
Maybe we should call a special show on Thursday to do it live, so people don't think because remember you did it last time. They thought you were editing it and. You were
I drank.
He was doing it live.
I did it right there. I poured it right in.
No, but some people were saying it was. We got to do it live for everybody, right? Live on this. See, when you do a live stream, guys, we can't do any editing. So if I make a mistake, if Brad makes a mistake, you guys see it all. So this is live. It's happening.
So if the Dodgers only win 1, I'm drinking out of that shoe.
Wow.
If the Dodgers get swept, I'm drinking. I'll put extra amount in there, okay? But it's not going to happen. I'm not going to need to. Dodgers are going to win 2, but I predict a sweep for the Dodgers against Colorado.
I'm going to say 2 out of 3.
Okay.
They're going to drop 1.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Sweep on my side.
All right, there we go. Well, guys, thanks. I want to thank everybody who hopped on the stream today. If you're seeing this for the first time, like I'm saying, you got to subscribe. We're bringing Dodger baseball in a pretty cool way here, and we appreciate everybody for their support. But yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Anything else, Brad? Before we
remember, as you go through the day, just remember to